What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talk Sports, and Falcons vs Vikings just wrapped up week 2. Finishes up tomorrow with Chargers vs Raiders, Bucks vs Texans. Week 1 was amazing. There were some good games today, don't get me wrong, but today fizzled out with that Sunday Night Football game. I am surprised I'm still awake. I love football so much. I'm so happy it's back, but that's a game where you say to yourself, hey, maybe I could have started making this video a lot sooner than I did, because wow, what a game that was, and not in a good way. Really good defense on display, and Bijan Robinson is exceptional to watch, but not really a great game to talk about. I'll give my thoughts on that game at the very end of this video. The Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets, or should I say the New Jersey Jets. Listen, I thought this could have been a trap game, and I was really, really excited to see how this defense would show out and step up. They showed out and stepped up. The defense looked phenomenal today. Christian Benford, one of the best corners in the league, and definitely one of the best tackling corners in the league. He looked phenomenal. We had Taron Johnson and Ed Oliver, who Ed Oliver had the best game of his career maybe last Sunday night. Both of them were out. So alarms were starting to alarm in my head, if there's a lack of better word for that. And I was kind of worried. But then I woke up this morning, I'm like, you know what? I am not buying that Jets performance last weekend. They had the perfect offensive game and they lost. And I think the Steelers had an off game, which we'll get into the Steelers later. But what happens? Our defense showed up, showed out. Christian Benford had a great game. Everyone on defense had a great game. Joey Bosa, 2 forced fumbles today again. I mean, what the hell? I love Joey Bosa. He also got a sack to his name today. Cole Bishop with some great tackling. We made Justin Fields, who was coming off the best game of his career last weekend, have the worst game of his career today. He was awful. The only way they scored a touchdown today is because he got injured and maybe has a concussion. And Tyrod Taylor, former Buffalo Bill, we just let him score a touchdown. Fuck it. Throw a touchdown, Tyrod. We don't care. But man, the Buffalo Bills look good today, and they silenced all the alarms that were ringing in my head about the defense. Listen, the Jets aren't a great team. Certainly not a really good offense, but man, this defense was dominant today. And we didn't need Josh Allen at all today. Josh Allen had no passing touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns. We didn't need him at all. Josh threw his last pass with like 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Lamar Jackson was throwing touchdowns with 4 minutes left, up like 31 points or whatever the fuck that score of that game was. Man, we are such a great football team. I love how Sean McDermott is coaching up this defense. It's a young defense. It's a hurt defense. It's a defense not 100% healthy. And guess what? They swarmed the ball today. They were fierce. Our special teams played great. Usually I'm not that in tune with watching special teams. Like, I'm watching it, of course. I'm watching every second of the Buffalo Bills game. But, man, the special teams really stuck out to me today. Crashing on the kickoff, man. They were flying around on that kickoff. I love what I saw on all fronts today. We didn't need Josh Allen. We know what our receiving core and Josh Allen could do. Khalil Shakir was silent. Josh Allen had a good enough game for what we needed him to do today. Our O-line continues to be one of the best O-lines in the league. And James Cook, when is this guy going to get his respect? He needs to stop being underrated. This man, in my opinion, here are the better running backs than him in the NFL right now. Saquon Barkley, he's definitely better than James Cook. Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, and then I have James Cook. So if I had to rank it in order, here's how it would go. Saquon, Derrick Henry, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, and James Cook. I might even put James Cook above Jahmyr Gibbs, but I won't do that yet. I think James Cook is a top 6 running back in the NFL, and that needs to be talked about more. It really does. He is so fucking good. His patience reminds me of Le'Veon Bell at times, especially when Le'Veon Bell was in his prime. Like, the patience James Cook has, the shiftiness. I just love James Cook. He's so good, and he showed out today. And that O-line was blocking their ass off. And that D-line last week against the Steelers had 4 sacks. James Cook cooked. We just needed him today. Really simple. The Jets, I knew they were going to come down and let down off that perfect game that they played last Sunday, and they still lost. I just knew it. I knew it when I woke up this morning. I'm like, hey, I know it could be a trap game, and everyone's saying it's a trap game. The Bills are going to win by double digits or more, because the Bills are in a different type of mode right now, and we saw that today. Perfect. The only part of this game where my butthole kind of puckered, if I have a lack for better words in this scenario, is when Josh Allen came running to the sideline, nose gushing blood. I knew it wasn't anything significant, but I'm pretty sure he might have broke his nose. They're going to do x-rays on it. I don't know what happened, but I was shook for about 5 minutes. And then Mitchell Trubisky comes in and throws a great pass to Joshua Palmer. That one pass alone, he had more passing yards than Justin Fields for the day. So yeah, dominant win on all fronts. We didn't need our best players today. We didn't need Shakir. We didn't need Josh Allen. Our old line and running back did more than enough to secure this win in comfortable fashion. Couldn't ask for more. The defense showed up. James Cook showed out. I'm happy. Wait until this defense gets healthy. I can't wait to see what Maxwell Hairston looks like on this Bills defense. I love our corners we got. Trey White, Christian Medford, Taron Johnson, Maxwell Hairston. Love it. And then we have Joey Bosa playing how he's playing. And then we get Ed Oliver back. T. Bernard, Matt Milano, Cole Bishop. If he plays how he played today for the rest of the season, I'm down for whatever the fuck he's cooking with. And then, dude, Sean McDermott, I trust you. We just need to show off our defense a little bit better in the playoffs. Please. That's all that's lacking. So, yeah, the Bills win dominantly, 30-10. No sweat. Easy. Dolphins Thursday night. Man, Dolphins go 0-2 today. We'll move to that game next, I guess, but the Dolphins are going to get smacked in Buffalo this Thursday, and it's not going to be pretty. Man, we're going to beat the shit out of them, and probably Josh is going to end up being on the bench by fourth quarter, the start of it, like he was today. Josh is not going to play that full game Thursday, and it's not due to health. It's due to because we're just blowing them up on the scoreboard. So, moving on. Dolphins versus the Patriots. What a fucking drunk game. It was a fun game to watch. The Dolphins are a shit show. I don't know how McDaniel makes it past more than 5 games this season. Drake May had a better game. Connects with Butte again for a touchdown. Him and Butte have this connection that seemingly seems very powerful at the moment. They are connecting a lot. They connected for a touchdown today. The Dolphins are just a shit show. Poorly coached, bad roster. Tua stinks. I mean, Tua is bad. Miami can't wait to get another quarterback at this point. Tua is fucking embarrassing to watch, man. There's some really bad throws. I mean, Tyreek is getting frustrated and more frustrated by the second. Just really bad. The only good player on that team that stands out is Devon Achane. And sadly, he stepped out of bounds to, get the lead at the end. But, man, what a wild game that was. Malik Washington returns a punt return, and then fucking Antonio Gibson returns a kick return for the Patriots the very next play. Very, very weird game. Drake may look better, but I think both of these teams stink. I think Miami might be the worst team in the NFL. I'm not even joking. Miami Dolphins might be the worst team in the NFL, and the Patriots, they're just not a good football team. I just knew Mike Vrabel was the better coach, and they were somehow going to win that game, and that's exactly what happened. Tua is bad, and Drake May is definitely the better quarterback in this point in time, and probably for the rest of both of their careers, because Tua might not be in the NFL within the next year or two. I'm being so serious. We'll get a quick one out the way. The next 2 games are going to be quick because there's really not much to talk about. Rams versus Titans. Rams win 33-19. The Rams, one of the best 2-0 teams in the NFL. They are a really good football team. It was close at times with the Titans today, but they prevailed because they're the better football team. The Titans just don't have enough juice at the moment. Cam Ward, hell of a first NFL touchdown pass for you. Amazing pass, but let's be honest, that was lucky. I don't know how that ended up being completed. It ended up being a perfect pass, despite it being everything you shouldn't do as a quarterback, but he did it. Listen, I like what I see from Cam Ward so far. He doesn't have a lot of work with. The Titans are not a good team. Head coach is very questionable, and the Rams are just a better team at the moment. Puka Nacua is a dog. Devontae Adams is a dog. Stafford is a dog. And then you got Jared Verse and Sean McVay just fucking cooking whatever they're cooking on that defense. Just such a well-coached team. Sean McVay, he's one of the most trustworthy coaches in the NFL. And, yeah, fucking Rams win 33-19. Not much to talk about. Ravens win 41-17 against the Cleveland Browns. Not much to talk about here. I just have to say this. Lamar is a terrific quarterback. Probably the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Josh Allen, in my opinion. You can argue he's first. He's a typical stat patter. Josh Allen sits out when they're up by 20 or more points heading into the fourth quarter. That's just what he does, or at least 25 or more going into the fourth quarter past a specific point. There's like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter here in this game, and Lamar's still throwing the ball for a touchdown. Stat padding. Lamar was stat padding this game. And listen, it's not his fault. Football players are going to want to play. But what are we doing here? Why are you stat padding against the Cleveland Browns? You don't need to stat pad. You don't need to be throwing the ball with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter game where you are clearly going to win it. Josh sat out with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter today. You want to know why? Because it was a fucking blowout, and he didn't need to be in. Preserve Lamar. Why is he throwing the ball with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter? Stat padding. The crazy thing about this game is the Cleveland Browns defense is actually kind of good. They shut down Derrick Henry. I think he had like 11 carries for 23 yards. Man, it is kind of crazy to watch the Cleveland Browns hold Derrick Henry to 23 yards when he had that crazy of a game against us in the first game of the year. So that's about it with the Browns. I mean, Joe Flacco probably shouldn't be a starter for too much longer. A pick, a fumble for a touchdown today. Dylan Gabriel came in through a touchdown to Dylan Sampson. I do like the rookies a lot on the offense for the Cleveland Browns. I like their weapons. The tight end from Bowling Green. I like Judkins. I like Sampson. But nothing else to sing home about the Cleveland Browns. I knew they were going to get their ass kicked today. Ravens just had too much anger after that loss last Sunday. And the Ravens handled business. And they're going to handle business next Monday night against the Lions. We'll get to the Lions right here because there's nothing much else to talk about. The first 50 burger of the NFL season goes to the Lions over the Bears. Wow. To all people overreacting over the Lions underperforming week 1, they showed you not to fucking overreact, okay? Because our offense is still good. Still very good. Still very powerful. Amon-Ra St. Brown, what do you have? 2 to 3 touchdowns today? Jameson Williams fucking balled out. Jahmyr Gibbs scored a touchdown today. David Montgomery scored a touchdown today. Brock Wright scored a touchdown today. The Lions were cooking on all fronts today on offense. And you want to know why? The Chicago Bears are a fucking dumpster fire. Don't get me wrong, the Lions look great on offense today. They dog-walked Ben Johnson's Chicago Bears today. Ben Johnson's return to Detroit. Detroit just took no mercy on him, and they dog-walked him. It was pretty crazy to watch, man. The Chicago Bears, man. Odunze looked really good today. Caleb just continues to look like the same quarterback he did 18 games ago. You know what I mean? There's nothing really to praise about Caleb Williams yet, and that's sad to me because I was super high on Caleb Williams coming out of college. I thought his talent, and I still think his talent, is incredibly noticeable when you watch him play. Caleb Williams is not generational, and that sucks to me and a lot of other people who thought he was. Man, the Chicago Bears have some serious problems right now. Nothing looks good on the Chicago Bears. They lost in historic fashion to the Vikings last week, who the Vikings look like shit on offense this week. We'll get to that later. But just Chicago Bears, man. I mean, listen, the Buffalo Bills suffer. We suffer, but the funniest fans on the internet right now are the Chicago Bears fans. I love seeing videos of Chicago Bears ranting and raving about the product they've gotten on the football field so far in 2025. Wow. They are pissed, and rightfully so. They've been whiffing on so many draft picks. Ryan Poles, rightfully under fire right now. His seat is hot. Ben Johnson is fine. You have no other choice to believe it's going to be fine with Ben Johnson. You just have to believe. Just not a great 2 first games from Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears, especially for how sought after Ben Johnson was and how everyone thought he was seemingly going to start off great with the Chicago Bears. I thought the Chicago Bears were going to be really good this year. When you look at their roster, the improvements they made, they look no different than the team they were last year or the year before. It's pretty shocking. I've definitely whiffed on how the Bears were going to do this year. It's 2 games in, but this is a below 500 team, and it's probably the worst team in the NFC North in a division that's really stacked. The Vikings don't look like a good team, and they're probably going to finish under 500 too, but at least that defense is fucking incredible. That defense is really good. That offense, J.J. McCarthy, not so much, but the Chicago Bears are Chicago Baron. Like, that's the quote I'm going to have to use every time they lose in a Bearsy way. The Chicago Bears are barren right now, and today was another example. 52-21. Odunze looked good. 2 touchdowns to start the game for him. Everything fizzled out after that. So, just not good from the Chicago Bears. If you're a Chicago Bears fan watching this, and you come across this video on YouTube or TikTok, let me know how you're feeling in the comments because this must suck. It must suck. Trust me, I've been there before. Luckily, the Bills somewhat have prevailed. We got a generational quarterback, and we are so fun to watch no matter how fucking traumatic our losses are in the playoffs. But if you're a Chicago Bears fan, man, thoughts and prayers to you guys. I'm so sorry what's happening to you guys. I really am. I hope things get better for you guys. You guys deserve to be a good football team. The NFL is better when the Chicago Bears are better, but I don't see any hope soon. I really don't. I really don't. I don't see how you guys are good anytime soon. But let me know how you guys feel about the Chicago Bears if you're a Chicago Bear fan, because times are tough. This was a game I was pretty confident in. I had the Jaguars winning. They looked good despite Trevor Lawrence's failures on the field today. They looked good until the fourth quarter. Don't know how the Jaguars lost this game. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Jaguars 31-27. How the hell did this happen? First of all, Joe Burrow got injured today, and he has turf toe. Turf toe doesn't sound like a gruesome or bad injury, but they are bad injuries, and he's out for 3 months. And one thing I'm angry about is I bought Buffalo Bills versus Bengals tickets December 7th. One of my biggest worries was Joe Burrow does get injured, and he got injured, and he's not going to play that game, and now I have to go see the Bills play the Bengals with fucking Jake Browning as quarterback. Also, yes, the Bengals beat the Bills in the playoffs. Yes, they beat us in the regular season when they played us. I hate them. I do. Jamar Chase is gross. T. Higgins is incredible. That's a good football team on offense when they're healthy. I want the Bengals to be healthy, and they aren't because Joe Burrow is out for 3 months, and they're definitely missing the playoffs now, unless some sort of miracle happens. He got injured in the second quarter, and the Bengals won this game. Not due to anything spectacular they were doing. Jake Browning had 3 picks, I believe. Jake Browning had 3 picks, and he played 2.5 quarters. And the Bengals won. The Jags should be embarrassed with this fucking loss. Embarrassed. Brian Thomas Jr. had a horrible game. An absolutely horrible game. Trevor Lawrence continues to be fucking mediocre. For someone who I for sure thought was going to be generational. Less of a question mark than Caleb Williams. This guy had every intangible you would want out of a star QB, and a QB is going to be in the NFL for a very long time. He has yet to show us who he is. Or maybe he's showing us that he's not a very good quarterback, because he has not been good in a very long time. That man was not good today. Brian Thomas Jr. was not good today. Travis Hunter was underwhelming. Travis Etienne was pretty good today. Travis Etienne continues to go on this resurgence that we didn't feel last year. Like, he was not good at all last year. And he looked pretty fucking good again today, especially in week 1. Just an embarrassing loss on all fronts from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just a really, really bad performance from the Jaguars. Don't know how they lost this game. I mean, it's pretty shocking. The Bengals had no right winning this game. Let's go over what happened stats-wise. So, Trevor Lawrence, 24 for 42, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Parker Washington and De'Ami Brown were the only 2 wide receivers to have a good game on the Jaguars today. Brian Thomas Jr. was underwhelming. Travis Hunter was extremely underwhelming. And then we go to the Bengals. Jake Browning, 21 for 32, 241, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. He threw 3 picks in 2.5 quarters, and they won. Chase Brown, 16 for 47. Jamar Chase, best wide receiver in the league. 14 receptions, 165 yards, and 1 touchdown. T. Higgins, 3 catches, 56 yards, and 1 touchdown. How the fuck did they win this game? How? How did they win this game? Don't know how they won this game. They didn't score any defensive touchdowns. Just Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. playing like Stunards in parts of this game. Brian Thomas Jr. dropped like 2 to 3 easy passes in the red zone this fucking game. Hard watch. I couldn't believe the Jaguars lost this game. Man, the Jaguars play the Texans next week. I want to pick the Jaguars, but the Texans' defense is way better than the Bengals. They're probably going to force 3 turnovers from Trevor Lawrence. And then the Bengals play the Vikings next week, where I think the Vikings look like shit tonight, especially on offense. Their defense looked really good tonight, but I think the Vikings defense will be able to shut out the Bengals offense next weekend. So the Jaguars lose because they are fucking disappointments, and I can't believe they lost that game. Shocking, especially when you're watching it. Jaguars should have won that game. Instead, their incompetence led them to failure. Moving on. 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. I told you I couldn't have been the guy to have picked Spencer Rattler, and Kellen Moore to win this game. Listen, maybe the best game from Spencer Rattler of his NFL career. Pretty good game from him. Just the Saints are just not a good roster. Mac Jones, I knew Mac Jones was going to have a good game. I just knew Kyle Shanahan was going to be able to cook someone up for him in this game. He had 26 for 39, 279 yards passing, and 3 touchdowns. Jawan Jennings got on the board. I mean, he had a good game, Mac Jones. Christian McCaffrey scored a receiving touchdown, and then Luke Farrell. I just knew Mac Jones was going to be able to succeed in this San Francisco 49ers offense for this game. I think after this, it's fucking trails of tears for this San Francisco 49ers team. I think they lose quite a bit of games after this one. I knew they're going to win this game, but I also know what is going to come from them in the near future. That's not a playoff team, and they won today because the Saints are not a good roster. Moving on, maybe the game of the day. Giants versus the Cowboys. It ended badly. I will not lie, because Brandon Aubrey is a fucking weapon. A 64-yard field goal. Wow, that was insane to watch. It could have been good from like 75. Like, dude, the kickers are so incredible nowadays. It's insane. And then Russell Wilson, he had like over 430 passing yards today, throwing absolute moonballs to Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He is phenomenal. He was absolutely violating that Cowboys secondary today. Everyone was food on that defense from Malik Neighbors. He's a stud. He's special. He's one of the most solidified players on that Giants team. Cam Skattebo had a good game. Looked really good. That man is a tough runner. I love what I see from Cam Skattebo. Russell Wilson had a great game today. If it wasn't for that absolutely, completely horrible overtime from him, that backwards pass, that was a fumble, that was so weird to watch, and then that close my eyes, throw it in the sky ball, just to throw it to a defender so the Cowboys can win the game. Really bad overtime from him. CeeDee Lamb got back on the board. He didn't score a touchdown, but he was dominant today. Dak Prescott, look, to win games, how many passes did he throw today? CeeDee Lamb looked really good today. He didn't score a touchdown, but 119 yards. George Pickens scored a touchdown. But listen, what did I say about the Cowboys? In order for them to win games this year, they're going to have to throw the ball 52 times at least. And what happened? They threw the ball 52 times, and they won the game. Just barely, against probably one of the worst teams in the NFL. Not great signs ahead for the Cowboys, in my opinion. That's a team that's definitely not making the playoffs. Giants, they play fucking Kansas City Chiefs Sunday Night Football next weekend. What the fuck? Why is that a Sunday Night Football? One, the Chiefs look absolutely miserable, and two, the Giants stink. First of all, we'll get to the Chiefs later, because I shouldn't have picked them, and I shouldn't have bet them, because god damn it, they're not the same team they used to be. Yeah, the Chiefs, we're not going to get to the Chiefs yet. Giants versus Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, are you kidding me? If the Giants somehow win that game, it's one of the most remarkable regular season wins of all time, despite the Chiefs being not a good team at the moment. Yeah, so the Cowboys win 40-37 in overtime. Brandon Aubrey is a fucking weapon. Moving on. The Steelers were the lock of the day for me. They were a lock of the day for me. They fucking choked / threw this game away. Oh my god, abysmal. And you know what? I should have saw this coming, because the Seahawks were bad at home and they were great on the road last year. What happens last week? They lose at home in a really weird way, and then they went on the road in Pittsburgh. What Caleb Johnson did on the kickoff return today is one of the greatest rookie mistakes I've ever seen in my life. It hits the 5-yard line and he walks away from the ball so the Seahawks can fall on it and score a touchdown. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't do that? I think the Seahawks probably still win, but fuck, dude. You want to talk about a backbreaker? You're down 7 points. Now it's a 14-point game because you don't know fucking rules. You're on the kickoff return team. You're supposed to know the simple rules like this. Crazy, man. Let's go into what happened in that game. Sam Darnold, 22 for 33, 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. A lot of this game, I predicted for this game to be the Steelers' defense bounce back. For a lot of this game, it was. Steelers were playing some really good defense. They forced Sam Darnold to have 2 picks. Just the offensive side of the football for the Pittsburgh Steelers failed them, and that blunder on special teams. They let up 31 points to the Seahawks. So that defense is not good, but for a good portion of this game, the Steelers defense did look like it was back to its old self. Really abysmal game from the defense today. A quite shocking one, man. Especially how they ended the game on defense. They could have got another stop, but Kenneth Walker and the boys were just chugging down that field. Just not great to watch, man. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I benched him for some reason today for my fantasy team. I know, throw eggs at me, throw tomatoes. One of the worst benchings of my career in fantasy. He had 100 yards today, 8 receptions. I mean, he's just really great. And then receiving for the Steelers. Let's talk about it. Jaylen Warren led the Steelers in receiving, 4 receptions, 86 yards. Aaron Rodgers had 18 for 33 today, 203 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. They can't run the ball either. Jaylen Warren, 14 for 48. DK Metcalf with a lot of drops today, despite having a touchdown. I don't know what to think of the Steelers, man. Their defense is not good, the offense is inconsistent, and that win against the Jets is now heavily asterisked because that Jets team is not good. Not good. That Steelers team is worrisome now. Before the season, I had the Steelers being 11-6. They very well still could be, but I don't see 11 wins for this team. Maybe they do now because the Bengals are heavily injured. Well, not heavily injured, but they're particularly injured at quarterback, and that's their best position on the field besides Jamar Chase. So, yeah. Abysmal performance from the Steelers today, and I expected more. Seahawks, good defense. Sam Darnold in the offense did enough today to secure the win. Kenneth Walker, 13 carries, 105 yards, a touchdown. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 103 yards receiving, and then Sam Darnold, 2 touchdowns, despite having 2 picks. It was a good offensive display from the Seahawks, despite the 2 picks. And they did get lucky on that kickoff touchdown. Touchback, touchdown, whatever the fuck you want to call that. Caleb Johnson, that is infuriating if you're a Steelers fan. I'm not even a Steelers fan, but that was infuriating. So the Steelers lose 17-31. Steelers are my lock of the day. They ended up being the biggest disappointment of the day, besides the Jaguars. So the Jaguars and the Steelers, how they both lost this game, embarrassing. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate. Let's be honest. Colts and Broncos was by far the best game of this 4 o'clock slate. The 4 o'clock slate also had Eagles versus Chiefs. We'll get to that soon. Broncos versus Colts. What a wild ending to this game. First of all, the biggest takeaway from this game to me is, 1, I predicted the Broncos to be really good this year. They might be the most overrated team in the NFL. Or the Colts are just pretty goddamn good. But we'll get to, at the end of this video, I will rank the 2-0 teams. The Colts are one of the only undefeated teams left in the NFL right now. So they look good. Their own line looks good. Jonathan Taylor looks healthy and fucking rejuvenated. But man, Tyler Warren, I'm telling you, man, this is a Hall of Famer right here. He is special, Tyler Warren. And then the receivers they got, Alex Pierce, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr., Mo Alley Cox, the backup tight end. They got enough on that offense to be frisky. The Colts are officially a frisky team. They didn't deserve to win this game. 1, because Shane Steichen is a dumb motherfucker for how he coached the end of that game. They didn't deserve to win that game. What was he, running out the clock to get a 60-yard field goal? If it wasn't for the Broncos special team fucking with the long snapper, they wouldn't have won this game, and the Colts wouldn't have moved up 15 yards. So, yeah. Colts, Daniel Jones had another good game. The Colts look good on offense. They look good on defense. They get turnovers. Daniel Jones had another good game. Over 300 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Jonathan Taylor looked great. Tyler Warren and the boys look really good. Tyler Warren had 4 receptions for 79 yards. I love Tyler Warren. If he was a Buffalo Bill, I would have got his jersey as soon as he got drafted. Fuck, I love Tyler Warren. Amazing player. And besides the interception, Bo Nix had a good day. 22 for 30, 206 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a good day. Troy Franklin looked really good, really explosive, and he looks like he's going to be a really good gadget receiver for that team in this upcoming season. I mean, he looks like a really good gadgety type player that's going to get these big explosive plays for you. And then J.K. Dobbins looks rejuvenated and healthy. I'm happy to see J.K. Dobbins look really good. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing from the Broncos for 2 games. They struggle against the Titans, and then they let up 29 points to the Colts. And listen, the Colts offense looks way better than I predicted. So hand up. Their O-line is humming. Jonathan Taylor is healthy as hell right now. Daniel Jones is cooking. Tyler Warren is being as great as I predicted and I hoped, but 29 points to the fucking Colts when you're supposed to be the best defense in the NFL. At least that's what I've been hearing from all your fans, and that's what the roster told me uh, heading into the season. Just not a great defensive display from the Broncos in their second game of the season. They had a good defensive display against the Titans, but the Titans stink. The Titans are not good. So, maybe this might have been the best game of the day if it wasn't for the Giants versus Cowboys, but that last fucking Shane Steichen, man, you are so lucky you won this game because you were calling the end of that game horrifically. The Broncos should be 2-0. They should be. That their defense held a great stand at the end of it. The play calling was bad from the Colts, but the Broncos ultimately got the stop that they needed to force a missed field goal. It's just they touched the fucking long snapper, forcing a repositioning of the field and a made field goal on the redo as time expired. So Colts move on to 2-0, Broncos 1-1, 29-28 Broncos. Moving on. A game that was started to get fun towards the end, but honestly, the Panthers had maybe one of the worst last drives I've ever seen in my life. They had a timeout, like a minute left when they got the ball back on the onside kick, and the play calls were so weird. They kept on running these long-ass routes, and Bryce Young looks like he was shitting himself on that last drive. As soon as that first down happened after the onside kick, you knew they were going to lose that game and not get anywhere close to the end zone. That was abysmal last-minute offense from the Panthers. Dave Canales and the boys failed that offense and the Panthers fans with that last drive. But Panthers backdoor covered, and they almost fucking won the game. The Cardinals are 2-0. And, yeah, like I predicted, they're going to be 3-0 after next week's win against the 49ers. They are the most fraudulent 2-0 team in the NFL right now. And that's pretty clear to me. This team is going to fizzle out quicker than you can say blueberry muffins. I mean, that's not a good football team, despite there being some fun weapons like James Conner and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Greg Dortch. And I actually like some of the rookies on their team. I like Will Johnson. I don't mind Denzel Burke. I like Budda Baker. I like Calais Campbell, but that's not a good football team. And the fourth quarter performance by that team and ultimately the second half performance from the Cardinals shows you why they're going to start to fizzle out after the game against the 49ers, because I do think they moved to 3-0. Moving on to the last game of the 4 o'clock slate, and it was a game that was pent up to be the best game of the day, which it wasn't. It was a pretty abysmal game to watch on all fronts. Eagles win. I should have picked the Eagles. I'm a fucking idiot for picking the Chiefs. I knew the Eagles were the way better roster. The Chiefs are just not the team that we once knew. They're always going to beat the Bills in the playoffs, it feels like. They just always are. I don't know how they pull out these wins, but they fucking do. And they just look like shit. I know they're missing some guys. They're not fully healthy, and Rashee Rice is suspended. But, man, their defense is still good. They held the Eagles to 20 points. They pretty much shut down the passing of Jalen Hurts. He only had 103 passing yards. The offense that the Chiefs have, especially right now, is not a good offense. Pat Mahomes, he is improvising maybe more than he's ever did in his career, especially on the feet. He has 2 rushing touchdowns through 2 games. That's the only way they were able to score besides the last-minute heave. I mean, pretty abysmal. The game ended 17-20. The game was not that close. The Eagles are the Eagles. They're a fucking great team, but they don't look as great as they did last year. They're 2-0. They're doing what they need to do, but I'm not fully confident the Eagles are going to get back to the Super Bowl this year. I am just not. The Eagles win. I mean, what are they, 3-0 in the past 3 games against the Chiefs? 2 of those games in Arrowhead. Man, I'm a Bills fan. I'm chomping at the bits with how the Chiefs look, but ultimately, it doesn't matter if we beat them in the regular season again. We can't beat them when it matters. And, yeah, I'd be pretty confident if we played the Chiefs right now, and I'm pretty sure we might smoke them. But in the playoffs, the Chiefs are just a way different team in the playoffs, so hopefully they don't make the playoffs this year. And I'll tell you what, they're going to win that game on Sunday night, but if they lose to the Giants on Sunday Night Football, they're not making the playoffs. They are not making the playoffs if they lose to the fucking Giants on Sunday Night Football. Unless the AFC is really bad, which I don't think they're going to be that bad. If the Chiefs fucking lose to the Giants next Sunday, they are fucking not making the playoffs. if you're a Chiefs fan, listen, I know we're at odds. I'm a Bills fan. You should not hate me. I should hate you. And listen, to be honest, I don't like the Chiefs, but I respect you guys. How are you guys feeling about your season so far? Bad. Just bad, bad, bad. Despite that last deep ball throw by Mahomes looks horrible on the deep ball this year. And the crazy thing is, Thornton looks fast enough. They connected on that last deep ball, but that deep ball from Mahomes looks bad. And it hasn't looked great in a really long time. Kelsey with that dropped pass turned into an interception that changed the game. The Chiefs don't look good, and I hate Kelsey's attitude. He seems checked out. Just the Eagles are the Eagles, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs right now. The Chiefs moved to 0-2. The Eagles moved to 2-0. I shouldn't have picked the Chiefs. I knew the Eagles were the better team, but the 19-4 record for Mahomes after a loss moves to 19-5, and I shouldn't have looked at that stat before I made the fucking video. Hey, I hope the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, and I hope this is the season where it's the whoever's in the AFC. It's open. It's open, fucking sesame in that playoffs. No Chiefs in it. It's whoever's in it. It's not going to be the Chiefs this year. I'm telling you. It's going to be the Ravens or the Bills coming out of the AFC, and I can't wait. I hope the Chiefs win the playoffs, and the Chiefs do not look like the Chiefs that everyone fears. I'll tell you that much. Moving on to the Sunday Night Football game. What the fuck do I think of these two quarterbacks? I couldn't tell you. One thing's for certain, the Falcons have a good defense. And my prediction video, I said I liked how the Falcons look better than the Vikings look in a loss. The Falcons lost against the Bucks. I liked how they looked. The Vikings won against the Chicago Bears. Didn't like how they looked. And that showed its ugly head today. J.J. McCarthy looked bad, 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 bad. What do you have, 2 picks and a fumble? Or he had like 3 picks and a fumble. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. Aaron Jones got injured. The starting center got injured. Just not good, man. The Vikings defense is fucking incredible. The Vikings defense is very well coached by Brian Flores. Kevin O'Connell's a great head coach. Their defense is going to win them some games, but J.J. McCarthy's going to have to grow. That's really it. This is his rookie year, so I can't be too hard on him, but he looked bad. And he looked bad for the majority of the Bears game until the Bears started bearing. So, yeah. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to be as an NFL quarterback. Part of me really hopes he's a really good quarterback, but this has not been a really pretty 2 games for him. And, yeah, after tonight's game, I'm pretty worried. No touchdown at all tonight. They got in the red zone. I think they got to, like, the 2-yard line tonight, and they couldn't score. The Falcons' defense looks really good, man. A.J. Terrell was injured, I think, for the last 2 quarters of this game, and the Falcons' defense still played great. I liked what I saw from the Falcons today. Despite Penix not being exceptionally great passing the ball today, I think Penix is a good quarterback, at least a serviceable one. And I'll tell you what, Bijan Robinson, top 3 running back in the league, if not top 2. That man is special. You know what? They learned their lesson, too. They ran the shit out of him today. And Algier. Algier was the only person to score a touchdown today. Bijan Robinson was cooking today. I mean, the way he fights for 5 to 2 yards, and ultimately the explosive plays he has, that man is probably the best running back when it comes to receiving and rushing the ball. No one catches the ball better as a running back, and no one runs the ball better as a running back. You can argue both of those. I think Saquon and Derrick Henry are better because of what they've done in the league for as long as they've been in it, but Bijan Robinson's probably going to be the best running back in the NFL by next year. Bijan is special, and the Falcons learned what they didn't learn last year, and they learned what they didn't learn in the first game. Run the shit out of the ball with Bijan. You're going to win some games because of it. They got a good duo at running back with Algier and Bijan, but give them the majority of the carries for Bijan, and you're going to wear the shit out of some defenses. Michael Penix, man, and they got some good. Kyle Pitts looked good tonight. Penix was feeding the ball like Kyle Pitts. I like Drake London too. I like Darnell Mooney. Drake London, they didn't throw the ball too much tonight after the fumble because that was one of the biggest plays of the game. Vikings just punching the shit out of the ball in his hand and forcing the fumble. But yeah, I'll be honest. I love football. I'm so happy it's back, and I'm going to be so sad when it's gone. But, man, tonight, that Falcons and Vikings game, don't get me wrong, I love defensive games. I love gritty and down into the soil football games, but not a fun game to watch, especially watching these 2 quarterbacks. Penix didn't have a horrible game. The game didn't need to be won by him tonight. It needed to be won by Bijan Robinson. The pass protection was not good, and ultimately the Vikings defense is really good, so I really can't fault him for not having a great game on paper, but he did enough to win. He didn't turn the ball over. So, Yeah, Bijan Robinson won this game, and so did the Falcons defense, and ultimately J.J. McCarthy lost in this game. J.J. McCarthy was bad tonight. He's going to continue to grow, but honestly, next weekend he faces Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to get at least 2 passing touchdowns next weekend because that Cincinnati Bengals, despite forcing turnovers today against the Jaguars, who are just incompetent at this point, J.J. McCarthy's going to have a better game next week. The Bengals are not a good defense, and I'm pretty confident the Vikings defense will shut down the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think they will get the Vikings in good field position, and I think the Vikings will succeed on offense, and I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Jefferson has like 2 touchdowns next weekend. So, yeah, that wraps up week 2, and before we go, I'm going to give you my predictions for Monday Night Football, and I'll be honest, tough games to pick. Tough games to pick. But I am picking the Bucks. I have the Bucks making the Super Bowl this year. I do. I'm gonna pick the Bucks. Listen, they're not gonna go undefeated, and they probably won't have more than 12 wins. But I like the Bucks. I think they win away in Houston. I just can't trust that Houston offense. I can't trust this offensive line. They're not healthy at running back. Nick Chubb is not RB1 in 2025, and C.J. Stroud does not look good. I like Todd Bowles. I love how they coach up their defense, and I think the offense is better on the Bucks. And then the Chargers in Las Vegas. Is this a trap game for the Chargers? Here's the only way. You know what I can see happening here? And I'm not going to do it, but I can see it happening. The Chiefs are 0-2. Perfect opportunity for the Chargers to go 2-0 and be first place in the AFC West after 2 weeks. I can see the Raiders going to 2-0 and just, ultimately raidering out. Like, the Raiders are not a great football team. They're going to be a frisky one this year, but man, it would be something else to see the Raiders win this game. But I think the Chargers win. They're a better squad. I do like the head coaching battle, Harbaugh versus Carroll. I got the Chargers here. I'm going to take the better quarterback, Herbert. I like how Harbaugh coaches up his defense. So I'm going Baker Mayfield, Todd Bowles, and I'm going Harbaugh and Herbert tomorrow. I love what I saw from Herbert last Friday. Herbert, man, can he go out and show out again? I think he will. Herbert fucking wins this game, and Baker Mayfield wins the first game. That's my predictions for Monday Night Football. Next time you guys see me is probably going to be Thursday night or Friday morning for predictions for week 3. But I will be releasing TikTok videos about how I feel about the Bills game going to Thursday night. That game is not important enough, or I think it will be close enough for me to release a prediction video on it. So, yeah, don't expect that, like a solo video. I will be talking about it immediately on my Thursday night pod that will be released on Thursday night or Friday morning. So, stay tuned for that. But I want to rank the 2-0 teams through week 2. And, yeah, we don't know. There could be another 2-0 teams tomorrow with the Bucks or the Raiders or the Chargers. So, there could be 2-0 teams tomorrow. Let me rank the 2-0 teams through week 2 that we know of right now. So there's 8 2-0 teams in the NFL. I'm going to go from bottom to top. Who are the best 2-0 teams in the NFL? All right. In last place, I have to put them in last place because Joe Burrow is no longer going to be there for the next 3 months. The Bengals. Bad offensive line, bad defense, and with no Joe Burrow, they're not making the playoffs. They're in last place. They're the worst 2-0 team in the NFL, and they are frauds. In number 7, I have the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to start 3-0 as well, but they fizzle out. We know how the Cardinals act. They're going to fizzle out. They are frauds. They don't deserve to be 2-0, and they don't deserve to be 3-0, which they are going to be next week. In number 6, I have the 49ers, and you can argue they can be 7th on this list. But they are going to get Brock Purdy back. They're going to get Ayuk back. And I do like their head coach way more than I like Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals. And more than I like Zach Taylor. So, the 49ers are the 7th best 2-0 team in the NFL. And they're frauds. And they're not going to make the playoffs. 5th best 2-0 team is the Indianapolis Colts. They should be 1-1. But their O-line looks good. Jonathan Taylor looks really good. Daniel Jones is putting in good performances. And ultimately, I'm liking what I'm seeing from their defense and the way they force turnovers. I love Cam Bynum. He's the best celebratory player in the NFL. His celebrations are incredible. In 4th place, and this is probably disrespectful to some people, they're defending champs, the Eagles. They're definitely going to make the playoffs this year. That's without a doubt. But the 3 teams ahead of them, I just think they're Super Bowl contenders, and I think they are better teams than the Eagles at this point. And I don't have any merit to that. The Eagles should probably arguably be first place in this because they're defending champions, but they're the 4th best 2-0 team in the NFL, and they're definitely going to make the playoffs. Number 3, I have the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams, man. I mean, what's not to love right now? I know the Titans game wasn't pretty today, but Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, Matt Stafford, and then Sean McVay, and that defense is just flying around for them, doing its job. I think they're a Super Bowl contender, and I think they're the third best 2-0 team in the NFL. And number two, listen, I'm only doing this because at number one is the best quarterback in the NFL. I have number two, the Green Bay Packers. This team should arguably number one. There's been no signs of weaknesses from this team, only health. There's been no signs of weaknesses from this team in number two. I just trust number one's quarterback way more. This team should be probably number one, but the only blemish in this team right now is health, especially at the wide receiver position, and that's the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers probably have the best defense in the NFL. Their offense has been flawless, just perfectly moving the ball down the field. Their defense has been dominant. They completely shut down arguably the best offense in the NFL last year in the Commanders. They could arguably be number one, but they're not. It's the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen didn't have a passing or a rushing touchdown today, and the Bills won by 20, and they were winning 30-3 until a garbage time touchdown from Tyrod Taylor. The Bills have the best offense in the NFL. They have the best O-line in the NFL, and their defense is way better than you would think, especially after letting up 40 points in the first game of the season. So, my top 8 2-0 teams in the NFL are number 1, Bills, number 2, the Packers, number 3, the Rams, number 4, the Eagles, number 5, the Indianapolis Colts, number 6, the San Francisco 49ers, number 7, the Cardinals, and number 8, the Cincinnati Bengals, due to Joe Burrow being injured and probably missing the rest of the season. So, it is your boy Matt Talk Sports. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talk Sports for more content like this. Follow me at Matt Talks Films if you want some film content. I love talking films. It's probably my most burning passion in this world. It's my greatest escape. Follow me at Matt Talks Film if you want to hear some good films talk. And it's your boy Matt Talks Films. It's your boy Matt Talks Sports. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you watched this video. Like, comment, follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Sports. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want more. If you made it this far, give me a Go Bills or tell me whatever team you support, and let me know in the comments how you feel about my views and my takes. I'll see you Friday morning or Thursday night, giving my full predictions for Week 3. I'll see you soon.